Hello everyone, welcome to Zeref Game Dev. In this video, we are going to create the RiskyWallz game in Unity. So it's another one simple hyper casual game in which we'll have a player, some obstacles, and there's going to be some player behavior. And if you want to follow along, you can get the assets from the GitHub link. And if you want to see more of such projects, you can subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed, and do like the video uh, if you liked how the game is built. And as I've already done a few of the games before, we are not going to start from scratch. We already started from scratch, so if you want to see how was that done, you can follow this playlist. In that, I think in the first and the second video we created the rest of the scripts, and we are using the scripts in all of the projects. So we created those scripts from scratch, and as you know, as a programmer, create once and use it multiple times, as the game genre is similar and there's not much difference. We are going to use the similar concept. So this one is another simple hyper casual game. There'll be more such games, almost I don't know, but we'll be done with after 5 to 10 more. And let's see what we have here. So I have an empty Unity project opened up. There is nothing much added. So the first thing we are going to do is inside our build settings, we are going to change our target platform to Android, as that's the only SDK I installed in my editor. If you have all of those, you should be able to change to any of them. And currently we are going to build for Android, and we are going to make for Android, so rest of the packages we are going to delete. If you are building for Windows or anything else, there may be some packages which you may not able to remove, and that may cause some issues. So let's go inside our project settings. We are going to import TextMesh Pro next, and after that, let's go inside editor, and inside naming, let's change it to underscore, and let's import TextMesh Pro. So this is going to import TextMesh Pro, and let's also bring in all the assets we are going to need. So the first thing is going to be the color. uh, every time color, you are going to get it from the latest project, or else it may cause issues. And after that, we'll delete our scenes folder, and we'll disable warnings for our text mesh pro settings. And after we have done that, we are going to go inside our package manager and remove all of the unused packages, which is going to be the VS Code package, the visual scripting. We won't need version control, but if you are using Unity's plastic SCM, then you may need to use it. And similarly, if you are using visual scripting, you may also need all of the packages and also the test framework, but mostly for any beginner, we are not going to touch it. But if you are working in a company or some good enough project, you may need to pass some tests, and you will need to use the test framework. So we are also going to remove the test framework and also the version control. So the only packages we have, I think it didn't remove the test framework. Uh, Cannot be found. Okay, so it is already removed. Now we need to remove the version control. And if we refresh our packages, it should show that our test framework should be removed. And after all of our packages are done, uh, Unity test framework, we are going to bring in our files. So what files are we going to bring in? So you can get it from my previous GitHub project. Download the assets, and from that we are going to bring in the prefabs, resources, scenes, and the scripts. And the editor, you need to get it from the current project. So let's see. As it is importing, this is the prefabs, there is the resources, scenes, and the scripts. Now let's open our main menu scene. We don't need to save the current scene. And if we go inside our scene, I think I imported the wrong ones. Yeah, I imported the original project. Actually, what I needed to do was import the previous assets. So let me delete that. So prefab, resources, scenes, and scripts. And now prefab resources, scenes, and scripts, we are going to get it from our corner cross game. And as you can see, there are some issues, and this isn't our current project. We are going to go inside our main menu. So this was our last project, the corner cross game. And if everything is imported correctly, we need to add it to the build. So add open scenes and remove our sample scene. Similarly, we'll add our gameplay scene, and first we'll check if our game is working fine. So this game we created in the last video, it is just a simple similar game, obstacle type. We are moving from one corner to another, and it is not much difficult, but I am not playing it good enough, so that's why that is the issue. So the game is working perfectly fine, and this was our last game. Now if you go inside our editor, you should be able to get the current game as colors, which are shown inside our colors, and we'll start editing our main scene. So inside our main scene, the first thing we are going to do is change our main colors. So our main camera is going to have a bluish color, which is going to be our light blue, and our all four of these assets are going to be the dark color, and we'll need to rename it to risky walls. And similarly, we'll change all three of these colors to dark color, and all the next of the colors to our lighter color, so it looks coherent. You can use any format you want, but currently we are going to use this format. And for the colors, it is a new color palette. Do remember that you have to add the color palette from the latest project, which will be inside the GitHub link below. Now after we have added our main scene, let's go inside our gameplay scene. First we'll change our colors, and after that we'll start changing our player. So this is going to be our dark color, and inside our canvas our score is going to be our pure white color, which is going to be 98. And after that, similarly, end panel, let's show it up, and our end panel is going to be our light color. And currently there are only two of our assets. There were six icons, so let's just have it as six icons. So first thing we need to do is change each of its size to 256 by 256. So everything looks coherent. And after that, we'll need to create two more buttons, which are going to be the rate and the shop for the skin. So they are going to be below our share. So let's duplicate the share, and this one is going to be renamed to rate. Position is going to be wise. What is happening? Multiply by 2. And similarly, let's rename it to rate. And our sound, okay, so we'll duplicate this rate. It is going to be at positive 384, and this one is going to be the shop, so maybe there's some shop you need, and we'll import those assets. So currently I don't have them inside here, so let's go inside my assets. resources, and let's see what assets are we going to need. So the first one is going to be our share 1, share 2, so many. Let's copy those and we'll paste everything. So let's go inside our resources folder and we'll paste and we'll skip the duplicate files. So we added the block, the share to, the shopping cart, and the star. So it should be shown up inside here. And for our block, we are going to set its pivot to bottom. Nothing else is going to be changed. And let's set its pixels per unit to 1. Bar also, it is already set up to 1. Now for our rate, let's attach the star, and similarly for our shop, let's attach the shopping cart. And our first share, we are going to change it to our current share, and all of those colors are going to be white because that's how it's currently looking. And we'll change it to simulator and we'll convert it to iPhone 12. So that's how the end game screen should look, and that's how it's going to look. We are not going to change anything here. Now this is our main gameplay screen. So when we start, only thing that's changed is the color. So let's hit play and let's see if there were any issues. So except for the color and all, there's not much going on. Now what we are going to do is we'll change the core gameplay, and let's first start by creating the background. So our background is going to be like dark color, and it's not going to have any obstacles here because we are going to have our own obstacle spawning, and it will need a sprite render component. And let's set its order in layer to -1. It's going to be at the most bottom. And for the sprite, we are going to use our bar sprite. You can call it pixel, whatever you like. And its size is going to be 25 cross 10. And as you can see, this is our center screen, and color will use our dark color. And let's first position our player at 0 and 0. And it is going to be a circle of size 1.28, order in layer 1. It needs to have a circle collider 2D. I think we have a yeah, it has a circle collider 2D, and it also needs to attach a player script. So this is fine. And after that, everything else is fine. Now, what is going to be inside our score? So I think we won't even need the score script. Yeah. We also don't need the score script, so let's delete our score script. And we are going to remove our score script from our score so it won't show any errors. Assets, player, and there will be some issues, but we'll clear those up later. And let's make our player white so it doesn't look bad. And this is going to be our player. I think it was supposed to be I don't know. Let me check. Yeah, our player was supposed to be square, so instead of circle, we need to use a bar. And its size is going to be 1.28. And its circle collider 2D, we'll need to remove the circle collider 2D. And I also think we are also not going to need our 1.28 by 1.28 particle system, cause it will like get in the way. Maybe, yeah, we don't need our particle system too. So that's how our player's going to look. No particle system here. And it has a box collider 2D. Let's move it up. The rigid body 2D. And there's error with our score. We'll let the script load and we'll remove that code from our game manager. I don't think we'll need to remove it. We'll need to directly change whenever it hits the score, so that should not much any. So now there are not many errors. Now let's start editing our score. So our score is just going to be a simple circle. So let's go inside our scene. Let's delete the two circles. And we are going to remove the box collider 2D. Similarly, attach a circle which size is going to be 1.28. And we'll also attach a circle collider 2D which is going to be set to trigger. Its tag is going to be score. So this is going to be our score, bright white color. And I think it's yeah, let's just set it at white. And our player explosion, we are going to need it to be a white color. 9298, everything's whitish. And if we go inside our simulator, as you can see, this is our player, this is our background, and this is our scope. Now what is going to happen with the player is just going to move up and down instead of moving inside the left and the right direction, so there's not much going to be changes here. But our obstacle is going to have some changes, and it's going to be, instead of bar, we are going to use the block. Similarly, our box collider 2D is going to also need to add 0.64. And for now, we are just going to set it there only. And we also attached the block script. Its tag was also correct. Now we are also going to add our score to the block, which is going to be positioned at 1.28 plus 0.64. So that's our block is going to be. And our obstacle needs to be the same size. Yeah, no more changes here. So that's our current block is going to look. And if we go inside our game manager, inside our obstacle spawn pose, we are just going to have two spawn position, which are the top and the bottom, and we'll also set it up a little bit later. So now the first thing we need to do is change all the scripts that's needed and change the player behavior, and also set up the starting size for our obstacles. So let's go inside the scripting phase and we'll see what needs to be changed one by one. uh, we fix the errors by deleting the condition here and directly updating the score. So let's just remove it first and we'll go through the scripts one by one. So our audio manager constants also not going to have changed. There's no center. Let's save it. And inside our game manager, everything else is going to be the same, but the obstacle spawning condition is going to be different. So we have obstacle prefab, and all we need to do is just instantiate it. So there are going to be two spawn positions, one for the top and another one for the bottom, and we are just going to randomly assign it to the top and the bottom. So inside our game manager, let's create serialize field private vector3, and it's going to be obstacle top spawn position and obstacle bottom spawn position, and time interval spawn position. So bootstrap create a boolean, and it is going to be random dot range, not random unity engine, dot random dot range from 0 till 2, and we'll check if it is 0. Then our spawn position is going to be stop, then it is going to be top spawn position, else it is going to be our bottom. And similarly we'll create these two functions here, and there's going to be one more thing, which is also going to be rotation. So let's copy this here, and instead of spawn pose we'll call it spawn rot, and if we are on the top we will add 180, else we'll just add 0. And similarly, instead of quaternion.identity we'll use quaternion.eiler of our spawn rotation, and we are going to set up our rotation here, and we'll need to remove the vector3, so this is going to work similarly. And the only thing that we need to add is add our obstacles. So we don't need to add the obstacle, it was similar. So now we need to do is change our obstacle script. Our fixed update is going to be similar, so at the end of the screen it is going to change, but what we need to do is inside our starting function we need to set up its size for the box collider and our sprite size. So let's create functions for that. So serialize field, the first one is going to be our min size and our max, and after that we are going to have sprite renderer sr and serialize field private box collider 2D, and we'll just call it call, and serialize field private transform, and this one is going to be our score transform. Now when our game starts we are going to set it up, create a private float current size, so let's first get the offset, which is going to be max size minus min size, and after that float current size, it is going to be min size plus random dot range from 0 till 5, so it will convert it to 4, then we'll multiply it by 1 divided by 4, and finally we'll multiply it by our offset, so it will get our current size. And score transformed or local position, we are going to set it up to current size plus 1.6f, and we'll multiply it by the v3 dot up. And finally our sr dot size, it is going to be new vector 2, and here we need to x sr dot size dot x, and for the y we'll pass the current size, and slash core dot size is going to be sr dot size, and under slash, why is this happening, core dot offset, it is going to be new vector 2 for 0, and our current size divided by 2f. So this is just going to be the starting conditions, and we are going to set it up first. So let's go inside our game manager, and we need to set up the top and the bottom spawn pose. So it is going to be 15, 3.2 and 0. So the top is going to be 15 and 3.2, and our bottom is going to be 15 and negative 3.2. And we have not changed anything for the player, but our score, its right render needs to have order in layer 1 if there are some issues, and our obstacle similarly needs to have order in layer 1, and we need to set up our obstacle values. So first is the sprite renderer, then the box collider, and finally our score transform. And our min size and max size also we need to set it up, so they are going to be 1.28 and 5.12. So it should start spawning our obstacles, but still there is an issue with the player. So player movement logic, after we set it up, our game should be perfectly fine, and I don't think it will take much time. So if you start the game except for our player, everything else should be working fine, but let's see what issues there are. Hmm. So our player in the last game, it was going to move from some position to here, but in our current game there's some errors. So first thing, I should be the box collider 2D. Okay, it is set to trigger, which has an obstacle, and this one has a score, and also it needs to be set to trigger, so both are fine. So let's set up our player logic so it doesn't cause more issues. So our obstacle script, let's see what we have done. So our obstacle script is also perfectly fine, there are not more any changes. So let's go inside our player and move time and max offset, serialize field. So we are not going to have any move positions, and here we are going to have max offset y, add maximum offset, current move position, move speed, and here we are going to have private vector tree for the start pose, our end pose, no more index and move distance here. can move and can shoot. So we have the current move distance, move speed, start pose, and pose. And inside the update, everything else is similar. And less than 1, and here greater than 1, then it is going to be 0. And we'll just use current move position, and it should do the trick. Nothing else changed, and also the rest of the code is similar, and I don't think we need to change anything except for the max offset y. So let's go inside Unity and let's see if it is working, or we just change the values. So our player logic was similar. So inside our max offset y, we are going to pass the maximum offset, and it is going to be, let's hit the W. What is the value? 4.34. Mm, and we need to set up our start and the end position so doesn't create more issues. We forgot to set that up. Let's go inside Visual Studio, and inside our starting position, maybe we should set no. Yeah. So let's just start. Let's set up the position. So let's create a temp, and it is going to be a transform dot position, and temp dot y is going to be max offset y, and our starting position is going to be temp. Similarly, temp dot y is equals to negative max offset y, and our starting position is going to be, so this will take care of our starting and ending position. And I don't think we are going to need anything else, and let's see what happens. So let's go inside Unity, and there may be some issues, but we'll see how we are going to fix it up. Let's hit play, and for now we are not going to our game, and it is running almost fine, but hmm so our starting position is going to be negative, and our ending position is going to be positive. That was the error. What did that? Current move position is equals to 0. Starting position plus end position minus start position. There are solutions. So let's hit play and let's see. There are also issues. So let's go inside our scene. The first thing we need to check is our obstacle. Does our obstacles have collider working? Ah, it is good. Our score also has the collider at the correct position. Our player collider is also correct. So it is fine, but we'll need to change all of the. So let's go inside gameplay, and I don't think we are going to need to change our player size, but our score size will need to change. So instead of 1.28, let's set it as 1 and 0.5. Yeah, that should be fine. Uh, Player move time and max offset y. We did set it to 4.34, but there's some issue with the player logic. So if cannot move it return, and if our current move position is less, then we'll set it to 1. If it is greater than 1, then we'll set it to 0. So here was the issue, and let me show you something. So in our previous whatever game, the 0 and the 1 position were same, but here what we need to do is we only need to change the direction, or our current move position is greater than 1f, and our move speed is going to be changed in the opposite direction. So that was the only issue, and now it should be solved. Let's go inside main menu and let's play the game in 18:9 portrait. This should be solved. Let's hit play. This is our current game, and there's also problem. So we need to, yeah, so it started from 0 and the maximum it was 4.34. So it finished that, but it didn't reach our end position. So our starting position is perfectly fine, but our ending position is different. End pose minus start pose. Okay, now it's good. And here it should be 0.5f. So our starting position is in the negative and our current move position is 0.5f. And let's now see what changes are there. So as we are modifying the code, we need to check it step by step, and it is working fine. So we are able to calculate the score, but what is not happening is we need to destroy our collision.game object. So we need to add the destroy collision.game object script here, and there's also issue with our starting position, which is going to be at negative 3.5, but actually we need to change it to something different. So let's go inside our gameplay and let's bring in one of our obstacles and let's see where we need to position it. So actually it is at negative 5, but we set it up at negative 3.2, so 5 and negative 5, and now there should not be more issues, maybe not. So let's go inside game menu and let's play the game again. So now this is current game, and again it is only moving, yeah, it is only moving half a step. So where could be the problem? Our move positioning is working fine. Our start and the ending position are dependent on the max offset y. So our move speed is increasing, and if we hold it down, it should be decreasing. That should not happen, but it is happening. Issue the offset. So let's go inside our gameplay and let's see where our player offset is. So there is not any problem with the offset. Errors. We'll be fixing up errors. Let's start from the gameplay and let's see what is. So the issue is it is going from 0.5 till 1, but it is not going towards the bottom. So where is the issue? Less than 0 or greater than 1, then we are going to change current move position plus is equals to move speed multiplied by time dot start position plus current move position multiplied by end minus start. Okay, so this code is perfectly fine. Current move position, transform dot position, and this one is going to be negative. So there's an issue with here, and let's see this fix. Again the same issue, but now we are only moving in half the direction. So there should be problem with our start pose plus current end pose minus start pose. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be problem with some bracket or so, but move time, max offset, start and the end, move speed, current move position. Mm-hmm. Temp.y is going to be max offset y, and we are going to set our start position to temp. Temp.y is going to be negative. Game started, game quit, multiply. Okay, so that is also fine. Transform dot position is position. The current move position, that is also fine. Don't know where the error is. Let's hit play again and let's see what the issue is. Mm-hmm. It is not going past. Mm-mm. There only problem with our player gameplay. Let's go inside our player. So max offset y and our move time. Let's change our move time to 1.6. 4.34, that is also correctly fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is not going beyond 1. So let's recheck our code and we'll see where the error is. So first you have the move time and the max offset y. So our move time, we are converting it to move speed, which is 1 over speed, and our current move position 0.5 f, which is in the center. Our start position should be negative max offset y, but it is not. So let's change this to negative max offset y. So end pose minus start pose, and it should go in the upward direction. And after that, when the game starts, if we click and can shoot, it will change current move position. We are increasing the move speed, and if our current move position is less than 1 or greater less than 0 or greater than 1, which should be depending on the offset and the start move position, it should change. So not much issues here. Let's hit play and can't seem to catch the error. Okay, so our player should be at 0, 0, 0, and our maximum position is 4.34 and our minimum position is -4. So what we are always getting at the start position, it is moving towards downward direction, but end minus start, there is some problem. So it multiply this and it will add y to, let's do debug.log. First let's check our start position and our end position as. So here we are going, yeah, here it was the error. So we are setting the start position same. Actually what we need to set up was the end positions. So just typo error and it took 10 minutes. And here finally it should be fine. And now let's go inside our player and let's go to main menu and we'll start hitting play, and our game should be working perfectly fine. So as you can see, it is too speedy right now. Let's change the speed to what it was at the start, 0.8, 1.2, and it should be fine. Wait, let's go in the main menu and that should be it for the game. So that was some typo error and it took 10 more minutes to finish it. Uh, that is the game. RiskyWallz, similar Flappy Bird type, and there are some points, and we prototype it pretty much faster. Uh, Before all the games were almost like an hour, and we are getting proficient too. So That was it for this game. And if you did watch the whole video, thank you guys for watching, and do subscribe to the channel and do comment and like the video, as it helps get the video get more views and more people will be able to see the video. And I've created a game for Play Store. Do download it below. Its link will also be inside the uh, description. And if you are new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, and thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video.